Welcome, and thank you for joining for another whiskey review. Today, Dustin, we are going back to my favorite distillery, my first love, Lagavulin. And we're going to take a look at this 16-year-old Fèis Ìle.
Yes, sir.
2017 bottling of this cask strength 16-year-old. Dustin, you were the first people that I shared this bottle with. And this particular one, it was aged in ex-bourbon barrels and then double matured in Moscatel.
Which, as I think you've heard from me, it's probably my favorite sherry cask.
Moscatel?
Yeah, unfortunately, not a lot of options out there for it.
No, there isn't. And I heard these very similar to the 2017 distillery pick. I heard that these were also used previously with a Caol Ila finishing.
Yeah.
So we've been drinking this bottle for a while. We're about down to here. Just
Yeah.
to show you the bottle, guys. This is a UK distillery only bottling.
So we had our first pour of that maybe, October maybe?
How about that? I think I got it maybe in September.
Yeah, I think the first pour that the two of us had together though was October. So it's been a while.
It was probably October. And this comes, these Isla bottling, or Isla distiller only bottlings come in these little bags usually, or an even goofier sort of gift box type of bag. But this particular one, it says
Gift
on the
box
back,
bag.
is one of only 6,000 bottles made.
And these are, that's actually really nice. When
I
I grabbed
like
it,
these
I was
bags.
impressed. Yeah. The other stuff they put them in, I could do without.
Yeah, they have like sort of a cardboardish type packaging.
It's the thing you would get at a gift shop at a cheap, tourist site. It's like, come on, guys.
Lagavulin.
That's nice.
I'm gonna get that tattoo someday, I think.
All right,
Probably not, but maybe. You never know.
A lot of guys have Ardbeg tattooed on them.
All right, so Lagavulin, my first love as far as the distillery. This particular one is 56.1% ABV. Limited edition, 6,000 total bottles. This bottle is 3237, if you can pick that up right there in the camera. So, not a lot of bottles, only 6,000. I'm sure people have multiples. Like I have multiples of some bottles, not particularly this one, but whatever.
Yeah.
And very similar to the 2017 distillery team pick.
Yes.
Second maturation is in Moscatel casks.
Yeah.
What do you know about Moscatel wine?
I don't know a whole lot. I've had it. It always gives me I want to say it's deeper and darker, in my opinion, than some of like an Oloroso, but it's not as dry and it's actually sweeter. So it's darker fruits, a little sweeter. But again, like I said, Mike, I've had probably 4 to 6, maybe 10, ones that were finished in it. So it's unfortunately, there aren't a lot out there, and the Lagavulin one I have is still probably my favorite sherry whiskey.
Yeah, I don't have a bunch of experience with Moscatel either.
Yeah.
Well, let's get into it.
Yeah.
Let's see what we think.
So the nose is giving me, first off, you can't not know this is Lagavulin. You instantly get what I'm going to describe as like a citrus, orange, and peach kind of a thing.
Definitely peach.
Yeah.
Lime.
Yes, and then it's got, that rich, peaty.
Meaty.
Yeah, and as we've talked about it, Lagavulin is, as you called it, aristocratic peat.
Smoke.
And it is that, it's not grimy, it's not giving us any nasty. It's just...
It feels like a lady
Yeah.
in a white dress who grew up in a palace would appreciate the type of smoke that was on there. That's what I mean by aristocratic.
Yes.
Even fancy people.
Yes, this is a fancy person smoke.
Absolutely.
But I am getting a little bit of a berry that I don't usually get in a Lagavulin. I'm assuming that's a Moscatel. And again, all Lagavulins at 16 or older have some kind of cask finishing for the most part. There's been some limited editions outside.
Really, everything above the 12 does.
Yeah. So this is not PX. PX comes off, I want to call it plasticky sweet.
Sticky,
yeah. The regular one has
more rounded.
It's more rounded, but it's
refined.
But it's still kind of
rich,
flatter.
Because of the ABV.
I think that's part of it, but I think even without it, I think there's just a flatness to that sweetness. This is richer, it's deeper.
Yeah, so when I first got this bottle, I was thinking to myself, because it's not easy to get cask strength Fèis Ìle bottlings here in the States, especially in Columbus, Ohio, for Lagavulin, even though I'm a huge Lagavulin fan. But 2019 has been a good year. I've been able to pick up 7 or 8 of these specialty bottlings. And this is what I've noticed. Initially, I thought to myself, Lagavulin cask strength, 16-year-old, it's going to be a normal 16-year-old, just cask strength and on steroids, right? Yeah. It is not that whiskey.
No.
Very, very, very different whiskey. And it's because of the cask maturation. They're not using PX casks.
Yeah. Now that as this is opening up, though, I am getting a little bit more of dusty oak.
Yeah, I'm definitely getting oak. Now, to me, the Moscatel, whereas differs from the distillery team pit from 2017. So I was getting definitely more tropical, pineapple, Hawaiian barbecue type flavors. Yeah. Today, on this one, I'm getting more super sweet. But it reminds me a lot of the 12-year-old, where it doesn't have the overwhelming sherry that the 16 does, and definitely not what the Distillers Edition does. But this particular one, it's sweet, it's sticky, not as sticky as say we recently had a Lafroig Carchus Fino cask.
Oh, it's beautiful.
It's not as dry or as sticky as the Fino cask.
No.
But I think Moscatel is just the next step down as far as stickiness and sweetness.
Well, Fino's the driest, by far of the sherries. This,
for sure.
I'll tell you what, I think there's less sherry in this than in the, for sure the Distillers Edition, but maybe even less sherry in this than the 16.
Well, again, I think that goes back to the type of sherry. Anyway, what are you picking up on the palate?
So, I know you guys don't want to sit here and watch us swirl the whiskey around. Oh, man. I am... Oh, so I just got a 4th transition in here. And that's going to make it hard to even kind of put to words what I just got. So, it's Lagavulin malt. And I get a funk early on there that's like...
Mossy.
Yeah, it's moss.
Moss in the morning.
Yeah, but
like when it rained.
But then there's like some kind of a breaded thing, but it's
almost mushroom.
I can see some of that, but I'm getting like that. But then it switches over, and then I get hit with sweetness.
You ever have a penny pasta with mushroom?
I don't think I have.
It's like penny pasta, not with a white sauce or a red sauce, just a penny pasta with a little bit of just rubbery mushroom. It's a little bit.
Yeah, but like I said, I get this transition to like where all of a sudden then here comes a little bit of sherry, here comes sweetness. And then it comes back to like a dry oak. And I'm thinking, ooh, I don't want that to finish this whiskey out. It's a little too dry. And then it shifts back to that mushroom and moss and sweetness. And I mean, you don't get 4 transitions of whiskey very often.
Yeah, very, very an inch off the ground type of smell. You know what I mean? When I say moss and I say mushrooms, like it didn't get high off the ground. Like this is a very damp, wet environment where there's good earth and there's good green covering it. Almost like a strawberry field that has a few mushrooms in it with no strawberry in it.
Yeah.
It's very close to the ground type of smell. And I love it. With just an incredible sweetness from the Moscatel.
And it's like early morning where there's a lot of dampness out there, and it's just very aromatic. It's
early morning
coming off. Yeah.
When I was a kid, I think I've told you, I grew up in Illinois.
Yeah.
I lived in Toronto, the Quad Cities, and I moved to Naperville for a while. I used to go to a private Catholic school.
Okay.
And the whole building was made out of stone.
Nice.
The whole building. And we used to stand in line to actually enter the building in the morning. There was moss always ground in where the asphalt hit the stone. There would be moss growing right there.
Yeah.
And getting a little bit of that smell in there.
No, I'm with you.
That wet, early morning Chicago air in the fall, moss on stone at a Catholic school where you couldn't speak out to the teacher because she was a nun. And you knew on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday you were going to church, and it was going to be a very somber environment.
Yeah.
That smell.
This is just all kinds of. It's just bringing back like I'm picturing camping, being out in the woods, and just sort of getting up early in the morning, and you see that log that's been like covered in moss and it's turned green, and it's damp, and you're getting a little of that, but then you're getting this incredibly awesome sweetness from Lagavulin. And to me, of the let's not be too snobbish here, but the Isle distilleries I care about.
Which are?
Ardbeg, Lafroig,
So
Lagavulin.
the Southern Isles.
Yeah.
To me, I call those the Southern Isles, yes.
The 3 that I really care. I mean, now, Bunnahabhain, I've had some stuff.
I like Kilchoman, I like Bunnahabhain, I like
Kilchoman, I'm waiting for them to get old enough to really start judging.
Hey, man, let's be honest. I probably have 50 Ardbeg, Lafroig, and Lagavulin in that closet right there. I don't have one Kilchoman. I have maybe 5 Bowmores.
Yeah.
That Southern Isle is my.
Bunnahabhain has done some stuff, and I mean, let's be honest, we can't ignore the Octomores. But
sure,
this is by far the sweetest malt of anybody in that Southern Isle region.
Oh, so sweet.
And so we're talking about all these earth tones. It's super sweet, guys.
So
this
sweet.
is a very sweet whiskey. So, Mike, you've had some water in there. Have you tasted it yet?
So no, with the water, it adds to the sweetness. To me, it makes that sharp. The Moscatel is a sharp sweetness. Like it is so apparent so quickly.
Yeah.
To where the normal sherry finishing, say on the 16, it takes a second to kind of get that peachy note to come out of it.
Yeah.
You know, it's not that. The Moscatel is just a sharp sweetness. It comes out, and I think complements the cask strength version of this extremely well.
Yeah.
So happy with it.
On the nose is actually very different to me. I'm getting more oak now with the water.
There is more.
But I'm getting this beautiful, sweeter whiskey. I'm not getting more dark fruits and stuff that I was expecting with Moscatel. I tend to get super sweet, but also a little more dark fruit. The dark
They're
fruits,
more vibrant.
I don't get dark fruit here. I get just beautiful. I feel like the sweetness is just complementing the Lagavulin malt, and you know it's the Moscatel doing it, and it's a perfect harmony. If you're a Lagavulin fan, I feel like this is bringing out the best of Lagavulin sweetness now on the nose.
I completely agree with you, and you're right. It's almost like a Japanese whiskey where there's just so many parts of a whole.
Yeah.
It is so nice, and the Moscatel cask, that's the only thing different. It has to be the Moscatel cask.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why they went with that with the distillery team pick. And again, the distillery team pick went different. It was a more meatier whiskey. This isn't this.
Oh, no.
It's far sweeter.
Oh, the distillery pick that we talked about, I mean, that was much more aggressive, assertive. It was more intense peat.
Sure, it was a unique experience.
Yeah.
This one is just sweet lager.
Well, and as I told you, that reminded me more of the Ardbegs and Lagavulin, or sorry, Lafroigs.
Yes.
Like, because it was
dirty.
Dirty and nasty.
Yes.
This is...
Aristocratic smoke with a beautiful, delicate sweetness.
This is the whiskey for Isla drinkers who are, well, there for the princess.
Yes. You want to make sure the girl you were talking to at the dance, her shoe didn't turn into a pumpkin coach at the end of the night, or back into a pumpkin. Actually, the pumpkin turned into a pumpkin coach, but whatever. I digress. This is a very subtle sweetness. If you like the big aristocrat of the Islas and you want to amp up the sweetness, this is definitely one you have to check out. Very, very impressed with this particular one. On the palate with a little bit of water, what are you picking up?
You know, this is, I think because you said it earlier, but I actually got a touch of a strawberry. And you think you said it, and it may have been what influenced me, but I'm getting like a little bit of that red fruit sweetness here that came out that was, again, you wouldn't pick it up if you were just purely thinking like, if you just went in and tasted it, but because doing before water, after water, and I think that little influence, I get just a hint of like a red fruit. I get all the same kind of flavors here. It's turned up a little sweetness. It's a little easier to drink, although this is a super easy drinker.
Super easy drinker.
Like, this does not drink like it's high proof.
I mean, again, at 56.1, so you're talking what? Damn near 113 proof? Or damn near 113 proof.
Yeah.
It doesn't drink like at all. Very, very, very sweet. Very easy drinker. And to me, you're right, it showcases the best about Lagavulin. I gotta tell you, Dustin, I'm at 92 out of 100 on this. And that's probably scoring it low.
Yeah, and then I'm getting this, the finish is just this beautiful oak, man.
It is. It's a sweet oak.
Yeah, it's so sweet, but it almost it's like buttery, and it's just doing all this cool stuff.
This is the first time I thought to myself, oh, Lagavulin used some really premium casks here. I don't often think that about Lagavulin.
Well, sometimes you're thinking, okay, they used newer casks. This is making me think they found some really good oak for these casks. Yes. It's not so much the first fill, second fill stuff. It's they just got good wood. It's another topic, but anyway.
Yes, very much so.
So, Mike,
as a White Sox fan, I'm looking forward to my new White Sox team, who has lost probably 280 games in the last 3 years, to get some good wood this particular year. Yoel Moncada, Tim Anderson, batting champion, Jose Abreu, Eloy Jimenez. Maybe look back at this video in 5 years and say, oh, those guys all busted out. But I tell you what, I'm as impressed with those guys in the 2019 season as I'm impressed with this whiskey here.
I'll tell you what, Mike, I was going to go, we had this before, and I was at a 92.
A couple times.
And then, we had it
a couple times.
3 times.
Yeah.
So then I came in here, and it came off a little different, and I was thinking, oh, I might only be like a 90 here. But that finish after the water, I'm 92. I'm going to go right there with you, Mike. This is...
If you like Lagavulin 12 and you like that cask strength and you just want an absolute chasm of sweetness drilled right through the middle of a Lagavulin 12-year-old, this is it. Very, very impressive whiskey. We're in agreement.
This is probably my second favorite Lagavulin to date.
Whew. We're gonna open up that 25-year-old.
All right, let's do it.
All right, we're about to get the 25-year-old. We want to thank you for once again joining for another whiskey review. Dustin and I are both at 92, and Dustin, what do we wish the folks?
Happy drinking.
Happy drinking.